Good afternoon. My name is Magali Jimenez, and today we're going to talk about ways to prevent diseases. In this presentation, we're going to have a comparison of the leading causes of preventable diseases worldwide and in the US, an overview of the 7 dimensions of wellness, and ways to reduce preventable diseases. Let's begin with the leading cause of preventable diseases. These are heart disease, cancer, chronic lower respiratory disease, and stroke. Together, they account for 63% of all U.S. deaths in 2010, with rates for each cause varying greatly from state to state. Now, let's look into a little deeper in regards to each disease. Heart disease risk include tobacco use, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, type 2 diabetes, poor diet, overweight, and lack of physical activity. Cancer risk includes tobacco use, poor diet, lack of physical activity, overweight, sun exposure, certain hormones, alcohol, some viruses and bacteria, ionizing radiation, and certain chemicals and other substances. Chronic respiratory diseases include tobacco smoke, secondhand smoke, other indoor air pollutants, outdoor air pollutants, allergens, and exposure to occupational agents. Stroke risk include high blood pressure, high cholesterol, heart disease, diabetes, overweight, previous stroke, tobacco use, alcohol use, and lack of physical activity. Studies suggest that if all states had the lowest death rate observed for each cause, it would be possible to prevent 34% of premature death from heart disease, 21% of premature cancer death, 39% of premature death from chronic lower respiratory disease, and 33% of premature stroke deaths. In this graph, you can see the differences of the mortality rates, global versus worldwide. As you can see, the Eastern Mediterranean has a mortality of 680 versus global of 513. This particular category, the mortality rates caused by NCDs include cardiovascular disease, cancer, chronic respiratory disease, and diabetes, which are non-transmittable diseases. And as that's also you could see in this graph, it looks like 19.8% of the Eastern Mediterranean are adults above age of 15 based on the 2016 review. Let's discuss a little over the overview of the 7 dimensions of wellness. Some risk factors for non-communicable diseases include behavior, environmental, economic, and other social determinants of health. Some behavioral risk factors are associated with higher health costs and reduced productivity, which include tobacco use, unhealthy diets, physical inactivity, and harmful use of tobacco. Now let's look into a little bit deeper into these dimensions. So social dimension, we're looking at what it means is to connect with other people. So the ability to be able to communicate or connect, to make that connection with other individual. Emotional is to understand ourselves, and as if we understand ourselves, the better we understand ourselves, the better we could understand others. Spiritual is having peace and harmony with oneself. Environmental, our responsibility for our water, land, and air. This is us learning how to take responsibility to take care of our environment. Occupational, it's to be able to feel personal fulfillment for our career. So it's the ability to be content and happy with what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. Intellectual is to be able to have an open mind, to be able to accept new ideas. And physical, to get to a healthy lifestyle without being able to feel fatigue or stress. Some ways to reduce preventable diseases is to exercise at least 4 to 5 times per week. Eliminate all tobacco product. Limit animal fats, cholesterol, trans fat, and saturated fat in the diet. Eat 5 to 9 daily servings of fruits and vegetables, and include other high fiber food and whole grain every day in your diet. And assess personal stressors and practice stress management techniques, including maintaining a strong social support system. And with this, I conclude this presentation. Thank you. Have a good day.